more. Stay with us on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Welcome to Democracy Today. I am Ijoma Osamor. It's 88 days, which is about 3 months or 12 weeks to February 16, 2019. The day scheduled for the commencement of the next round of elections in Nigeria. Political campaigns officially yesterday opened with the APC candidate, the incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari, unveiling his policy document titled The Next Level.
Judging by the depths of decay, deterioration and despair that Nigeria has sunk into, we are certain that these past few years have put us in good stead to press on the next level of building an even stronger nation for our people. First things had to come first. We were a nation at all, but we delivered on our commitment to secure the territorial integrity of our nation in the face of a raging insurgency that devastated many parts of the Northeast.
Now, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has launched this policy document. He launched it today. He wove it around what he called Let Nigeria Work Again. In the document, Atiku Abubakar offered to provide the appropriate political leadership with a mission to reinforce Nigeria's unity, guarantee security, and build a strong resistance and prosperous economy. He laid out a vision that would transform Nigeria into a modern economy that works for its people, with special focus on job creation and entrepreneurship development. And the document spells out the economic development agenda with priorities on human capital development, promoting diversification, reducing infrastructure deficit, and competitive and open economic system.
Too often, Nigerians have been promised better governance by those seeking their votes. Such individuals have preyed on the legitimate desires of our people for their conditions to be improved, that they make all sorts of promises. But it is one thing to promise and another thing to deliver. I'm not one for making grandiose promises. Rather, promises, I believe in policies. A promise is an indication to do a future action. A policy is a plan to achieve future goals. I believe in setting goals and coming up with realistic plans and policies to achieving those goals.
The two candidates from the ruling and the major opposition party, we are yet to get the position of the other 76 political parties, and we promise to bring to you the moment they are made public. And now to Akwa Ibom, where we hear of brewing crisis in the State House of Assembly.
And we have had by notice, and we have had by news, and we have had by all evidences like the court order will be said, that member representing Ekmekoika State Constituency has defected from the party that brought him to this office. Member representing a State Constituency has defected from the party that brought him to this office. Member representing Ikoro State Constituency has defected from the party that brought him to this office. Member representing Bani State Constituency has defected from the party that brought him to this office. Therefore, by the powers conferred on me by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I hereby declare those seats vacant. That is the order of this House.
The seat of some members who defected from the People's Democratic Party to the APC was declared vacant today, and it's like they have a new speaker. We'll be looking at these issues tomorrow. Maybe we'll just make it our focus tomorrow. But We'll just wait until we get developments, because we've been able to get the voice of the former speaker, the embattled speaker, not a former speaker yet, because he has not been declared that he is not the speaker. Now to our focus for the day. Last week, we had a member of the House of Representatives from Niger State, Adamu Chika, who opened up on the APC primaries in the state.
On the 12th of October, the governor called all the candidates for a meeting. I refused to go. And I told all the city members not to go, and they did not go. Now, he put all the candidates, he said, he has discussed with Mr. President that there was no election in Niger State. And therefore, Mr. President suggested they should give the forms, the nomination forms, to the most popular candidate. He set up committees in each political zone, in his own wisdom, which is in conflict with the party constitution and the electoral act. He made that submission, and that is what they did. So if you said you are a winner of election in Niger State, then the only thing that must have happened, like I will tell you, maybe I am the winner, is the result that were tallied the where election took place by your agent, which is not tenable anywhere. So I better take his position. There was no election in Niger State. And therefore, how did the candidate emerge? And let me tell you, elections stopped on the 7th. I knew in my local government, it was on the 8th, when there was no election, they said they conducted that of state assembly. And every election was supposed to have closed by the 7th. So that is to tell you, even in Niger State, we don't even have state assembly members by law that are eligible to contest, just the way we have.
Yes, that was Honorable Chika, a House of Rep member from Niger State. He was on this program to tell us that there was no primary election by the APC in Niger State. So let's ask them, those that are candidates for the National Assemblies, how did they come? How did they come about them? Tonight, we have APC members from the Niger State with a contrary view and other side of the story. I have joining me in the studio an APC stalwart in Niger State and former Commissioner for Women Affairs 2003 to 2007, Yakoi Obed Kango. You're welcome to Democracy Today.
Thank you very much.
You heard what Honorable Chika said.
Yes.
What do you think?
First, let me say he made a statement in his assertion which gave a very clear picture of who and what he was doing at the time of primaries. He said he wasn't in attendance in a particular meeting, which he has come to the public to narrate or assume what was done there, because it now becomes a hearsay issue. Now let me put you through all this. The fact of the matter is the process of primaries, their organization, their whatever, the governor, as a sitting governor of the ruling party in Niger State, had a limited role to play. First, the party at the national has the absolute control of the activities of the party that is preparing its party for the next 2019 election. When the party has sat and agreed on time frame and modalities of the primaries, it now became the duty of the state chapter, that's the leadership of the state, to organize and reflect to the members at the state level. And a meeting was held where all the stakeholders, that's party, the state executive committee meeting, where the governor is a member, his deputy is a member, members of the National Assembly under the platform of the APC are members, and all other people that were supposed to be there by the constitution of the party. And it was agreed that direct primaries should be adopted. That means it was the decision of this particular sitting I'm talking about. Now, I'm sure this particular member wasn't in attendance. I'm not sure he was part of that meeting.
He said something about the election was supposed to hold on the 7th. It didn't hold.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Because what he's presenting, we cannot understand it unless we get it from where we all started. If a process had been initiated, and in the process you were supposed to be part of, having been or being an interested party to that process, that is the desire to be re-elected back to the National Assembly. Now, the opportunity for all the stakeholders involved in that process to participate, decide, and agree was given by the party at the state level. Now, when the primaries were scheduled, of course, the people that came for the primaries were from the national, the electoral materials were from the national, everything pertaining to the primaries came from the national. All the state did was direct a particular team that is going to a particular constituency, this way it is, and out.
Okay.
And they got there and conducted their primaries.
And they conducted the primaries?
There was primaries.
How come he said no result came out of that primary?
I've been trying to really understand the thinking or what the problem is with this gentleman. But I'm beginning to think that probably he has pains in terms of not getting back his ticket, and is directing his arrow to the wrong side, venting his anger to on the wrong person, and of course carrying his cries to the wrong place.
So where's the wrong place that he carried the cries to? The media?
The issue is an event took place in the state, took place in your constituency. You had your agents, you had everything. Now, if you're a true member of a party, you will know the procedure of addressing whatever grievances you have. And if at all you are not able to, I have not heard him telling us where and how he went on this issue to, a kind of report on an issue or something he feels was not fair.
He said the governor told him that he is in a crossroad. Now, the primaries, they couldn't end it. They couldn't complete the primaries. Candidates, because INEC gave a deadline. If you don't submit the name of candidates before that day,
yes,
that means the state will go the way of Zamfara. That's the language he used.
Yeah.
And the governor, in his wisdom, decided to go to the president to cry to Mr. President to help them get candidates to fill some of the vacant seats.
Definitely not from the Niger I'm coming from. The Niger I'm coming from, I know there were primaries.
Was INEC there?
INEC were there. INEC officials were there. Not just the INEC. The DSS officials were there in most of the constituencies, that's wherever the election was taking place. The police were there. And the civil defense officials were there. The agents of candidates or aspirants, let me call them aspirants now, were there and were fully represented. A date was published. People knew when and when it would take place. And people gathered and conducted their primaries.
Did the primaries hold on the 7th?
Of course, sure.
He said the primaries didn't hold on the 7th. They moved the primaries to the next day,
no,
which
not
is
at
not
all.
supposed
You
to
see, this assertion or his claims are things that can easily be verified from these other sources I just told you of. Because most of these people that I mentioned were there. Their officials were there to witness, to see the peaceful conduct of this process of selecting flag bearers. But then, I wouldn't know. One, he is an individual that has lost touch with this area. I've watched him from the floor of the house, and I've seen the way he was talking. Definitely portray him as an individual that was not even on the ground. If he were on the ground, or was on the ground, then I expected him to have feedback or reports from his agents from all the collecting centers of his constituency to tell him that exactly this is what happened. And if he has that, he should be able to tender it or look for the appropriate authority to lay his complaint to. But coming to the public and going to the house where little will be done, I don't seem to understand the wisdom in that.
Honorable.
Yes. Let me say something. The governor is not the national chairman of APC. The governor is not the state chairman of APC in Niger State. So he is just a party member. He is, of course, by virtue of his position, a leader in the party, but not an authority that will impose any opinion or any decision on the whole entire process of a state that was directed by the national. That's a very wrong...
Honorable,
yes.
Let me say this. In the APC constitution, 3 options for getting candidates.
That's right.
Is either through a direct primary,
yes,
indirect primaries,
yeah,
or concessions. So if your party decides to say, let us not hold primary, let's come together to pick this person as candidate. Was that what happened in
No,
Niger?
it never happened. It never happened.
But you know it's
Where?
right if it happens.
It never happened. It never happened. The governor made, you see, the governor was comfortable with the system or the method, the people of the state that's the stakeholders of APC in the state had agreed on. He had no cause to object to that, that decision. And that should be a leader. Once the people have agreed, why do you have to object to it? So he accepted that and wished everybody well. Now, let me tell you something. If governor had any interest or had foreseen any crisis in that system, he would have given his advice. He never had any inkling on what negative or whatever will come out from that process. And to be fair to this whole process, it's a transparent process.
But are you not telling Nigerians that what Honorable Chika came to say on TV that very day, which I played, where he said the governor told him this, and this, was a lie?
Well,
are you saying it's a lie?
Let me tell you something. I never wish to relate whatever discussion to him as a person. But I want to say that first and foremost, when a person says something, you start first looking at his capacity. You see, human capacity has to do with mental, physical, and whatever abilities that is built in him. And I want to say that this particular individual should not be taken for serious. Along the course of his tenure as a member of the National Assembly, this individual came on air. Probably, I don't know whether if he said the AIT. He was on air and Nigerians heard him. When he wrote that he doesn't want to contest, that he wouldn't be available to contest.
He said so.
Do you understand?
He also said so that day,
now,
that he didn't want to come out to contest, but his people.
No, let me tell you something.
What is that thing?
The people.
The people.
Because people have been misusing the word the people.
Okay.
You understand? Now, who are the people? The simple logic behind this approach was he didn't want to be responsible to the electorate or his constituent members because he was not on ground. He does not visit his constituency. He does not relate to the people. The content and the principle of social contract had been totally negated by this individual. Now, these samples will come to you and they come up to be so vehement on a process that initially he was not even willing to be party to. What he said of the House, I'm sure members of the House of the Parliament, where he belongs, they have records of what he said on time. Okay. They have people of the constituency did not forget, and they knew that this man was just a prank on them.
Was venting.
Do you understand?
Is that what you said? Are you saying he was venting his anger?
No. At that point, he had no opportunity to vent his anger on the people. The constituents, the members of his constituency, were just waiting for the right time. And when the time came, they hammered him. Bam. And that was the end. Now, crying and taking whatever to any decision. And I'm just wondering, how will people ever want to believe such an individual? Because in psychology, we start thinking of some people of unstable minds. Okay,
let's just call for a short break. He said something, and we didn't allow it to get to that point.
Okay.
He said, if you think I am lying,
yes,
let us ask other members. Towards the end of the video, that was exactly what he said. He said, if you think I'm lying, let's find out from other members who also contested. That even them in the House of Reps, are not happy. That if you even went as far as say to tell me if you want me to call them, I'll call them. Let's get that part of the video.
The fact is, I think AIT can do one thing. Do me this favor. The candidates that contested elections, their name is everywhere. Call some of them. But I mean, House of Reps. Call some of them and ask. And I can give you the names of my colleagues. Verify from them. It happened. I can even, I can even call the names of those he formed as those from Zone A that will identify the most popular candidate and give him the nomination for. I can call their names.
Yes, I did. Let me tell you something. What he's just said, at what point had it become an automatic issue that once you're a serving member, that things must go your way? If all the 10 reps that we have in Niger State lost the election, is it a new thing? Should it be anything of... Are
you telling me that the 10 reps are not in touch with their people?
What is the essence of this revalidating mandate? That at the end of the tenure, you are supposed to get back to your people and then offer yourself. If your score record or whatever performance is to their satisfaction, they will represent you. They will give you back the mandate to go and represent them the more. And if there are better options, or if you realize that the negation in terms of responsibility, definitely we will lose. And they will all lose. So if, what I'm saying, the issue of AIT going to do any job for anybody does not arise in the first place. It is the judgment of the people. The people of his constituency, they don't know him because he had told them he will never be available for this contest. Why is he coming through the back door? For what? And the most unfortunate thing, the most interesting thing of it all is that he is so vehement now. What is it? Is it on second thought? Or is it there's something somewhere that he has not accomplished as an individual for himself that he feels going will jeopardize that? Otherwise, somebody, if I'm the person, if I'm this member, I will just honorably go and thank the members of my constituency and tell them, look, thank you for the opportunity. I told you earlier that I wouldn't be available.
So what is the next step? Because we have just a minute to go.
The next step is, one, he should take it in good faith. He has lost, he has lost. The primaries have been conducted. The winners have been submitted to the INEC. And I'm sure what we're doing now is to come out from is to manage the little few fallouts that we had within the course of the primaries, so that we can go in stronger and face the 2019 general election.
So you are optimistic?
We wouldn't have time for these other individuals to waste on trying to address issues. There were no issues.
Okay.
If anybody has any problem, he should get to his constituency and sort it out.
Well,
and let me tell you something. This idea of people thinking if it doesn't happen to me, if I'm not the person, it must not be any other person. We must kick it off from our political line of thinking. Okay. Otherwise, we won't get things right. If it is not you today, it could be you tomorrow. After all, you should be grateful that out of how many millions of people that you have the privilege of getting the mandate of a people to go and represent them.
That's a good one. Thank you very much, Honorable Yakoi Obed Kande, a former commissioner and a chieftain of the APC in the Niger State. Hopefully we'll have you on this program some other time.
It will be my great pleasure.
I want to invite you to come and bring your... Are you running for the election?
No.
You're not running for
I'm just a floor.
But definitely you will come back again.
Yeah, I'm sure I will come back. Because I'll come with my governor to...
You come with your governor?
When we have been sworn in for the second term. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for being a part of this program. Remember to follow us on our Twitter handle at Democracy Today, and also follow me on my handle at EJ Osamor. Until tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Good night.